Hey guys, this is Robert. I wanted to take just a quick minute this afternoon and show you how to set up this person class. The easiest way to do this is to, in CodeBlocks, not create a project in CodeBlocks, but just to create a folder, put all three of these files in that folder and just run it from there. So I'll show you how to do this very quickly. First of all, we want to make sure that we've got this person.h file downloaded. And over here in CodeBlocks, I've already created a folder called person.test, and the person.h folder person.h file is inside this person.h folder, and we're ready to start creating this thing now. So we've got person.h right here. Here's the constructor and these other functions, get name, get age, and so on, along with name and age as private data members. So the very first thing we want to do is to create the corresponding person.cpp file. So the easiest way to do that is to come over here in person test and right click it and click new file and then name it person.cpp. Easy as that. And then just load it into the editor. Now person.h is the header file, person.cpp is the implementation file. So the very first thing that we need to do is to include in the person.cpp the person.h file in double quotes, just like this. Then we want to start copying things over here from the person.h file and implementing them over here into the person.cpp file. So I'm going to get the person class constructor right here, and I'm going to copy that over very quickly. And then I'm going to go back, I'm going to get this display method, or this display function also, and then show you how to put these things together so that they do what we want them to do. First of all, with the constructor. Remember, in this person.cpp file, we have to link these functions to the corresponding prototypes over here in the person header file. So I want to get the name of the class, and I want to append that right here in front of the person constructor along with the scope resolution operator. So this just simply ties this person constructor to the person class. We want to do the same thing down here in the display function. So I'll copy this and make sure I paste it right there in front of display. Not in front of void, but right here in front of display. Now what I want to be able to do here is just print a simple message whenever this constructor gets called. So I'm just going to say cout, whoops, this thing, and I'm going to say person created, very good, and then just end this with an end L. Good. Then down here in we'll worry about this display function here in just a second. Now I've got the person.h default constructor, and the default constructor will do nothing more than just print out the message the person has created. Now what I've got to do is create the person test file with the main function in it. So I'll go back down here to person test, new file. This one will be actually person test.cpp. And we'll load this up. And this one will have our main method in it. So int main, just like this. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to include here also. First of all, since we're going to be outputting things inside this main function, we need to come back here. We need to include the IO stream header file, like this, and our using namespace standard statement, like this. Then, of course, we want to have our header comment up here. In fact, all three of these files should have a header comment. All right, so in this main function right here, we're simply going to create a person object. We'll just call it P. And there we go. So when we run this program, we should be able to create this person object right here. When the constructor is called automatically, then that constructor will just output this person created message. So let's see what happens. Let's make sure that all of these files are saved, and then we'll click on the person test.cpp with the main function and see what happens when we build and run it. Error, person was not declared in the scope. Small thing, hardly worth mentioning. What we've got to do here is also include the person stuff. So we'll do pound include in double quotes person.cpp. Now normally we would include person.h, but because I don't have a CodeBlocks project set up that links all these files together in a project scheme, I've got to say person.cpp. So the person.test will include the person.cpp, and the person.cpp will include the person.h, and that links everything together. Let's go back up here, hold our breath, cross our fingers, see what happens when we build and compile it. And look at this. Person created, so we're off and running. Alright, I hope that helps. Now let's just do one more thing and then we'll be out of here and you can go ahead and finish this project if you haven't already. Let's go back here and do something here to this person display. What we want to do here is actually two things. We're going to say cout, if I can spell it right, cout, get the right thing, name is age years old. Keep doing that. It's the keyboard. Voila. Okay. So what we want to be able to do is to print the name and the age. Well, let's see. I've got name and age over here, but I'm not doing anything in the constructor to initialize name and age. So let's add another constructor. And this one will be a parameterized constructor. So let's indicate that we want a string for name, comma, and an int for age, just like this. We've already included the string class up here, the string header file rather, so this will be good to go. Now, we do not need to parameterize, or rather, we don't need to specify parameter variables. We'll do that over in the constructor. So let's just copy this when we implement the constructor. So let's copy this, come over here to person.cpp, and we'll come back down here and create another constructor, like this. Once again, we want to make sure we got the person class associated with this constructor, because that's where it is. We'll put it right here. Now, let's go back over here for just a minute and look at the project. It said, add a parameterized constructor, which is what we've just done, which we have just done, that uses an initializer list. Ooh, what is an initializer list? Well, let's go back over here and take a look at that. Where are we? Right here. In this constructor, an initializer list looks like this. We have a colon and then the name of a particular field. Actually, just use the name field. Name. In parentheses, the value that we want this name field initialized to. Well, we don't have anything yet. We have to create a parameter variable here. So let's just call it name. And we'll put name n right there. I'm sorry, n. String n, n for name. We want the name field to be initialized to the value passed through the constructor stored in the name parameter. So we'll put n right there. That is an initializer list. If we come back over here to the project, it says we also want this parameterized constructor, I'll get it straight here, to validate ages greater than 0. So what that means is, let's come back over here, we want to make sure that whatever value we pass in for age, and we'll just store that in the parameter variable a, we want to assign age to a only if a is greater than 0. So we're going to say if a greater than 0, let's do something, not 0. We want to say age gets assigned the value of the parameter variable a. Otherwise, we're just going to say that age simply gets assigned the value 1. And we're done. So let's save what we've got here. Let's go back to our test now. And instead of using the default constructor, we're going to make use of that parameterized constructor by putting a string in here for name. We'll just say Jack, and Jack is 39. Now let's see if this works. Hold your breath. Build it. I love it when that happens. Oh, no display up here. Where did that go? Well, let's see. We're creating our person object right here, initializing the name to Jack and the age to 39, but we're not displaying anything, so let's display it. Let's just invoke the display function just like this. Come back up here, we'll save things, and then we'll build and run it again, and there we go. How about that? Jack is 39 years old. We're good to go. So guys, I hope that helps. Watch this video as many times as you want, and any questions, just send me an email message or start a discussion on the Canvas page. Once again, I'll change the date for this until Saturday at midnight, give you a couple extra days, and you'll be off and running. Take care.